some of my experiences that I've had with Winstrol. We're going to get right into that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about things I've encountered, things that I've endured, results that I've got, all of the good stuff. Now, obviously, I'm not really using anything anymore these days. The older I've gotten, the less I can take and tolerate. And it just doesn't fit into my goals really anymore with anything. However, I have plenty of experiences to talk about, and Winstrol I have plenty to talk about because Winstrol's always been one of my favorites, so it's been one that I've used far more so than others. So one of the things that I've noticed beneficial wise with Winstrol that people don't often talk about, at least for me, is that I've always been able to get a little bit more size than you would expect out of it, where some people would only expect 3, 4, 5 pounds. I'm always up in the 7, 8 range. Now that may be because I don't carry around a ton of weight too. And because of eating accommodations, etc. So you have to factor all that in. But I've always done really well with Winstrol, either involved in a cycle with other things or, by itself with just tests. But I've always had really good results in that. Strength has always been great. One of the more underrated things that doesn't get talked about enough is the strength you get with Winstrol, at least in my experiences. The strength has been excellent. Now, I've always gotten really, really vascular with Winstrol now. You guys know I keep myself very lean. That's just where I'm comfortable. But Winstrol brings it out a lot. I would get veins in places I didn't even know I had veins or could get veins with Winstrol. It definitely did it more so for me than pretty much anything else that I've used, I would say. Now, that's the good, right? But then there's the bad. Every time I get into Winstrol, I always tend to keep it at about 40 to 50 milligrams, okay? But by the end of week 3, sometimes week 4, there's a total lack of motivation. And trust me when I tell you, I am taking good care of myself. You guys know how I've preached about always making sure you're protecting yourself with orals. I practice what I teach you, I assure you, because a lot of that lethargy is coming from the taxation on your liver. So, and my liver values were definitely elevated, but I was still, they shouldn't have been feeling this way. I mean, I get to the point where it's just like, because when I get up, I'm ready to run. You guys know I'm a 10-mile-a-day runner. And so I'm ready to go. And I just, at about this time, every time I run it, I don't want to do anything at all. It's hard for me to force myself to do anything. And I hate that feeling because I'm such a self-motivated person. So that sucks. I've never once had any of the achy joints and things that so many people experience. And I'm just very blessed and thankful for that. I haven't had the hair issue. I have glasses on now, but my hair is still full. I just got it cut today, but never had that, any of that with any DHTs. So that too, I've never really ran into, but that lethargy and then just the bad blood work. It never hit my cholesterol hard, but I generally always kind of ran GW 501, 516 with it. But my liver would take a severe beating, and that was with a lot of protection that I was using. Okay. All in ones, using extra liver care. I don't know why. I have no explanation for it, but it was every single time. Now I've stayed away from injectable Winstrol because I don't like to pin as it is, and it's a very painful injection, and it's just that would be the alternative to try to avoid some of this, to get around some of the oral toxicity side effects. But that there again, the injection's so painful, it's just another miserable thing to go through. So these are things you have to consider. Now, the older I've gotten, the less tolerant, I don't know if it's mental, physical, or both, but that I've become with it. I don't want to deal with side effects anymore. And I think as you get older, it hits you harder. Well, I know that as a fact. And your body just doesn't tolerate it as well. It just doesn't. So these are things to keep in mind. But, everybody's different. Some people can just take a lot, and some people can take some, and some people can't take much at all. I mean, everybody's different. So it's just what you have to judge. But I do know this, that orals really do hurt you internally, especially over time, and you just don't want to deal with it after a while. I've never really gotten any of the bad pumps or anything with Winstrol, but you don't hear about that too much. You hear about that more so with D-ball and Anavar, but never really had that either. So in general, I've always responded extremely well to Winstrol in terms of results, but mentally, I'm over it. I wouldn't probably touch it again, just because of where I'm at with side effects and things like that. As much as I love it and love the results, have to pass. So that is my experiences with Winstrol. I hope that was educational for everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel. Let's get this channel built up